love sending Kym pictures because she gets irritated. Whatever irritates Kym, I like to do.
Funny mamas.
So,
now that was a good I would
like I had
to when your son.
Two funny mamas.
Oh my gosh. Hey everybody, welcome to Two Funny Mamas. I'm Sherri Shepherd and we have a special guest with us this evening, Cocoa Brown, also known as One Funny Mama.
Yep.
All by yourself.
I'm telling you, honey, how poetic is this, honey? It's the triad now.
Girl, I'm so excited that you're here. Now, I have to tell everybody, Cocoa's here taking Kym Whitley's place because they both had to shoot Cedric The Entertainer's show, The Neighborhood, on CBS. They have a recurring role. And so Kym has her show, Daily Pop, and it was a lot. Yeah, y'all know when Kym gets really tired, she gets distracted, and I didn't feel like having her put her feet in the camera when she gets distracted, Cocoa. So I told her she couldn't do the show today. I said, no, and she was like, I'll do it.
Absolutely. I mean, I wasn't on set 5 seconds. She said, girl, I need you tonight. I'm like, okay.
So Kym is actually, you guys, Cocoa, she let Cocoa do the podcast from her home. So Cocoa is in Kym's office. Where is Kym at? Is she cooking Joshua dinner? She upstairs?
I don't know. I hear her, but I haven't seen her yet. I know she's here. But they've got me closed off in the room. I have not heard any loud verbalities.
You will. Don't worry about it. It will be coming.
Okay.
It's such a dream because, and then I have to let everybody know, so this is Cocoa's second appearance on Two Funny Mamas. You guys are going to see her again probably around mid-April because she filled in for me because right now I am still in Vancouver and I'm shooting this movie. And Cocoa filled in for me and we're going to advertise this so that you can watch it. But they also interviewed Mr. Marcus, the retired adult entertainer.
Yes.
And you guys had a really good time, huh?
A real good time. I know, but it wasn't what you think, you know what I'm saying? He's very sweet. You know, you would never know it if you just met him on the street that, you know, he has a past.
And that's the thing, watching, and so just to let everybody know, Mr. Marcus, Kym, if you've watched any adult entertainment, then I'm sure you've seen Mr. Marcus in one of his many riveting films in the adult entertainment industry. And Kym said, I want to interview Mr. Huh?
I'm laughing because you said riveting.
He was riveting, people. He sure was riveting.
Yes, Lord.
But Kym came to me and she said, I really want to interview him because I think they were both at Lunel's party, her birthday party / Coming to America premiere party. And she was just like, Sherri, he's so smart. He's so gorgeous. He's got these businesses. And I said, why are we interviewing an adult star entertainment? And she said, I'm telling you, all of the women are going to like it. So I couldn't do it. Cocoa, you filled in. Now, this is what happened. They filmed this show already. That was the show that was supposed to be airing this Thursday. It is not going to air this Thursday. Our show is going to air, Cocoa. Do you know why?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I don't know if you know why your show with Mr. Marcus is not going to air this Thursday.
Okay, but I don't.
That show is not going to air this Thursday, today, because we got our first advertiser for our show.
Okay.
Which is very exciting. We've really been trying hard to get an advertiser for our show.
Okay.
So we got our first advertiser, girl, and guess who the advertiser is?
Who?
Disney.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
So it's not really Disney, but Disney is like world domination. It has a lot of subsidiaries. So Disney owns the company that's advertising with us. So when I was told that, Disney owns this company, I said, excuse me, we interviewing, we have a guest host named Cocoa. And she was like, oh, I love her. I watch her stand up. She's seen you. She was like, oh, she's great. Okay. That's not a problem. I said, but Cocoa is interviewing an adult entertainer. And she was like, a porn star? And I said, yeah, sorta. And she said, oh, So we happen to have Coca, I'm not playing. We happen to have a black agent. And we got off the phone and she was like, this is your first advertiser.
Right.
They might be working with you again. Can you please put that somewhere else? So we had to quickly... You know, exactly. It's like if you leave your adult toy out on the nightstand, you got to put it up.
Exactly, and realize you've got company. Yeah.
And we got company. So that's why, so you guys will see that episode of Cocoa with Kym and interviewing Mr. Marcus, the retired adult entertainment star. He likes to be called that instead. Y'all kept calling him a porn star.
Right. But he's more than that.
He's absolutely more than that. And so you guys are going to see that mid-April. But if you have any questions, let me know. Email twofunnymamas@gmail.com, and then we can still send them to Mr. Marcus so he can answer. So that's what I wanted to explain. On to you, Coca.
Yes.
You are in town, and y'all might recognize Coca from the OJ story. Were you juror number 9?
I don't even remember what number it was. I just know I was Queen Bee. That was my name.
So that's You were like the foreman, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. I was the one that basically Johnny Cochran, who was played by Courtney B. Vance, realized had a little bit of power over the jurors. So a lot of times when he was doing his closing arguments, it was a lot of silent communication between us because he knew I had the power to sway the jury.
Now, you used a lot of your facial expressions. You got really great facial expressions. You used to doing stand-up and making them laugh. And by the way, if you guys ever see Coca in your town, Coca Brown, y'all better run to the comedy clubs because it's hard to follow this girl. I actually was at the Improv. I was at the Improv with Coca, and people were stomping on the floor with their feet. I never seen nothing like it. You hit that closer, and I'm not going to tell people what the closer is because you got to go see her to see the closer. Yes. And people lost their ever-loving minds. And then they whispered to me, Sherri, you're next. I was like, no, I'm not. I'm going home. Is what I'm doing.
You had it, girl. You had it. You was good.
Oh, look at that. You was good. You was good. No,
you was good. You was good. You was good.
I was scared to death to follow your behind. You are, I don't even know the adjective to describe you. You are one of the strongest female comedians I've ever seen. That's what I'm going to say. You're behind. You get on stage and your motto is, I'm taking no prisoners. I was watching and I said, well, she ain't in jail. So I don't know why she got the attitude of I'm taking no prisoners. What goes through your mind when you on stage?
You know, it's funny. People always, say stuff like, girl, you done made it. You done made it. But you got to stay. In my mind, I haven't. So every time I touch a microphone, I'm like, this might be that moment, that takes me to the stratosphere. So when I say I take no prisoners, it's like I hit that stage every time like it's the last time I'll ever touch it. It's that veracity in me, I feel like I have something to prove. It's crazy. People say I don't, but that's just me. I feel like you're only as good as your last set, so you better bring it, So it's funny because I have gone to clubs where like chocolate sundaes, and I'll be number 3 and I go to the bathroom and come back and I'm closing. I'm like, how'd that happen? And they're like, Coco,
I tell you, when you go to the toilet every single time.
Every single time. But, I always say I was raised by wolves in this business, girl. I was raised by some of the comedy greats that, take charge on stage, control the stage. I mean, when I think about, I came up in the game with a lot of dudes, like the JB Smooths, the Mike Epps, the Rob Stapletons, what I'm saying? I did the Freddie Ricks, these cats, the Tony Roberts, like, they wouldn't let me just be a cute female comedian. They made me, be able to go toe to toe with the boys. So I remember when I first moved to LA and Spike at Mo Better Monday said to me one night, you ain't got to go that hard here. And I'm like, I don't know any other way to do it.
See, because now the people that you name, for everybody, if you're not familiar with those names, Freddie Ricks and Tony Roberts and Rob Stapleton and JB Smooth, they're rapid fire. All of those comics, rapid fire with the punchlines. Boom, 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 boom.
Right.
So you can't get up there and be like, hey, how y'all doing? I was walking and then you can't come after that because they whip the audience into such a frenzy. You got to keep them in that frenzy. So that's amazing that you learn behind it because that's what you do when you come to LA and you get on stage. And I go, this girl done whipped this damn audience into a frenzy. Don't you know LA is chill? What is she doing?
I mean, people was looking at me like, what's wrong with you? But, coming up in like the Baltimore clubs, the DC clubs, the New Jersey, Philly, New York clubs, you couldn't go on stage and be like, hi, boo, boo. You had to come on stage like raw, like Busta Rhymes. So I learned to tone it down and still be funny, of course, but I learned it's okay to take your time with your delivery. It's okay, time it, slow it down, so it got to a point that now I can go from 0 to 60 if I need to, but I can keep it at about a nice little 45 and I'm still good.
What do I've always wanted to get into the mind of a comedian. Even though I do stand-up comic, I love the art of stand-up comedy. So when you're looking at something, because I think people say we see things a little bit weirder than other people, which is why we're able to get on stage.
Right.
When you come up with a bit, like what goes through your mind in trying to craft a joke? What do you find funny that you say, you know what, I think I'm going to take that on stage?
I would tell you, a lot of my greatest bits have happened in the car with friends, where just an observation or just me talking, and they're in the car just dying. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm just talking. What's wrong with y'all? And they're like, you killing me. They pulling the car over. And that's where a lot of my greatest bits have come from, where I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go on stage and see what happens with this. And I don't know if it comes from my acting background or just that, I was that kid doing spelling bees and theater when I was a kid. Timing to me always came very natural. And delivery, even sometimes when I talk, I don't mean to make it sound like a punchline. It's just how I talk. And people, I'll just end the sentence with, and you know what I'm saying? Because that's what happened. And they're like, I did that. I'm like, what just happened? But for me, a lot of times it's just observations. And then too, because I'm constantly seeing things, and I think I see things outside the box, I just go on stage and talk from my heart. And because of that delivery and that timing that's ingrained in me, it comes off like a bit. I still have to tape my sets because I'll stumble on stuff, just talking about something that I saw earlier that day. And then boom, I've got a bit that I can build from. So, I'm the person that I'll be at your party and I'll be in the cut for about an hour before I start mingling. But after that, I've gotten all the material I needed.
Have you found, because this is what so many female comics go through, have you ever dated anybody or gone out on a date with somebody that you met at a club, or once you told them you were a comic, they were like, ooh, you found it hard to date being a female comic?
You get either, like, there's a few scenarios. You get the one that thinks you always want to crack a joke. You always want to be funny. They think they can out joke you. And the minute you hit them with a jab, because that's what you do, then you can see their ego and their pride just disintegrate right in front of you. And you're like, yeah, we ain't going to make it. This is our last date. Because you came at me and I'm a professional. This is what I do. Or you get the ones who try to act like what you do is not that special.
Right.
So that you don't have this talent and this God-given gift. So they try to kind of like, that was all right, but I know so-and-so funnier than you. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Then you get the one that all of a sudden realizes she know everybody. Now I can know everybody. Now they want to be the life of the party when you go into the club and you look and they mingling. I'm like, would you get your tail over here? You don't even know them people.
Do you know what? I went on a date with somebody. Oh, it was so bad,
Really?
Coca, because he was really, really good looking. He was a nice gentleman. But because he was a producer of sorts, there were some things where he produced comedy shows. And he was like, people say I'm real funny. And I was like, here we go.
Right.
And everything he did, he was trying to tell a joke Coca. I mean, and I kept thinking to myself, does he know I'm a stand-up? Like, why are you doing it? It's not funny. And this is what I was doing. I was like,
right. You're trying to be sweet and girly. Because that's the thing too. They think that we're so non-feminine, but we're actually very feminine. The persona that I am on stage is very different than who I am off stage. You know? And they want you to either be that all the time, or they're like, well, why can't you go on stage and be that? I'm like, well, that's not Cocoa Brown. You're dating Farrah Brown. There's a difference.
Totally different. See, and I dated somebody, we dated for about a year. And we met at, I don't know if you remember, if you were here back then, it was a club called Carlos and Charlie's in LA, girl. And I was doing stand-up. I think it was, it might have been D.O. Hughley was there that night. It was like an open mic night. D.O. Hughley was there. Jamie was there. And I met this guy. He was very cute. And we dated for a year. It was a horrible year. Because then he kept saying, why are you so loud all the time? When you met me, I was loud. I was on stage killing. Then he was like, why you tell all your business on stage? That ain't nobody. I mean, he was, girl. It was
They don't get it. They don't get it.
He didn't get it. He didn't get it. Like, well, why do we have to, when you go in the room, it's like you the life of the party? Because when you met me.
Because I've earned that spot. You know what I'm saying? It's like when I walk in the room, you know, sometimes the sea will part. Oh, snap. Cocoa Brown here. You going up? You going up? I earned that spot. Okay. I earned them stripes. How about that?
Yeah. Sometimes it's rough. It's because you're single, right?
I'm very single, yeah, real single.
You're very single. You have a son. He's how old?
He's 8. He's 8 going on 28, girl. I ain't going to be able to date till he go to college.
You're absolutely right, because Jeffrey told me he was just getting water from the water dispenser. He was like, I just want to tell you, I don't ever want another daddy. And he kept saying it. He was like, and if you get a boyfriend, I'm going to do something. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do something. Okay, first of all, Coca, I turned off the tape recorder because it was so cute what he was saying. I said, I can't post it because they going to call the police. You sound I'm never going to be able to get a dude because you just told him you're going to murder him in his sleep.
Right. Oh, yeah, my son, I can't get him out of my bed. I don't know what it is. He can start in his bed. Somehow he always ends up in mine. So one night, you know, he started in my bed. We're watching a movie. And I said, baby, what's going to happen when mommy gets a husband? You know, because he's going to want to sleep in here with me. And he looked at me like I told him Santa Claus wasn't real. And he was like, huh? He said, no, he can sleep in my room. Girl.
At what age, because this always happens, boys like to sleep with their mamas.
Right.
At what age have you thought about when you would say to him, no more sleeping with mommy? Because I'm going to tell you, that's going to be a problem.
I can't lie. I'm trying to keep it as PG as possible because of your sponsors. But the minute he gets hair in places, the minute we start seeing hair, the minute I find the crusty sock, you can't sleep with mama no more, okay?
That's a little, because I'm telling you, Coca, at some age, I think Jeffrey slept with me until he was maybe, I think it was about 8. I think it was about 8 years old. Mm-hmm. And maybe 9. And he wanted to keep, and we had a great relationship. I turned over, went to sleep. He just couldn't sleep unless he was in bed with me. Right. And then you know what? Because they gonna start looking at that bed as theirs. He gonna walk in your bedroom. He gonna be like, "Why you got your bedroom door locked, mommy? Open up the door. Open up the door." So you want to give him a year, Coca, to get used to not being in your bed.
Right.
Because it looks as his bed, his mommy. And mommy got needs. We keeping it clean.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you got to give him a year. He need a year padding because he gonna want to come get in that bed with you.
I'm serious. Like he always starts. Like we started it last year. He go in your room. Because sometimes mommy doesn't want to go to sleep when you go to sleep. You got to go to sleep early because you have school. Mommy gets a lot of her work done, and sometimes she wants to do it on her bed. And so, but somehow throughout the night, I end up with a foot in my face, you know, or I have a California king size bed. How does the child end up
Me
here?
Right there on with his foot right there on your face.
Right. It's like, dude, it's all this bed over here. What is wrong with you? It's like, I don't know. It's like, it's all of a sudden shifted. He became very territorial. You know, I remember this one guy, we were doing a business deal together. It was a business deal, but he came over to pick up some papers. And it was maybe about 10 o'clock at night. He had been in the bed for a good hour and a half. I guess he smelt that there was a man in the house. And this child came marching downstairs in his little Spider-Man pajamas, honey, and just was standing there with his little arms folded. I said, what are you doing up? He said, I wanted some chocolate milk. Then I said, okay. So I said, well, this is Mr. So-and-so. And he walked over to him and he shook his hand real hard. But my homeboy has taught my son that when you shake a man's hand, very firm, look him in the eye. So, but it was like super firm because my boy was like, oh, wow, you got a good grip. And he said, yeah. And I said, what, you know? And so he said, so what's your name again? And he was like, so-and-so. And he said, okay. How you know my mama? And he said, oh, we do business together. He said, you a comedian? And he said, no, I'm not a comedian. He said, oh, okay. So then I gave him his chocolate milk, right? And I said, well, it's time to go back to bed. Say goodnight. Girl, he took the milk. He walked away. He said, well, good night. He walked away. Girl, he turned back around. And as clear as day, holding that little chocolate milk. So how long you staying, bruh?
Oh. Ooh.
Girl, when I tell you, I didn't know what, I wanted to laugh, but then a part of me was like, who do you think you are? You know what I'm saying? And my boy is dying. He is cracking up. He's like, I'm getting ready to leave in a few minutes. He said, oh, okay. And as he's walking upstairs, he's looking back at him like, okay. You know, and I'm like, and this was like 7. And I'm like, oh, I'm in trouble.
It gets worse when you're a teenager. Like, my son doesn't even talk to me. He pays me no attention. Oh, but if he hears, but he still comes and says, good night, mommy. And he gives me a kiss. So if he comes in my office, Coca, he sees me on a Zoom and he hears a male voice, he will back up and look to see who I'm talking to and go, I want to talk to him.
Like, he wants to let his presence be known.
I'm telling you, that thing. And I don't know, have you ever dated a man with like a teenage daughter? That's what would scare me.
I haven't dated a guy with a teenage daughter, but I did date a guy who had 2 boys. And one was a teenager and one was Phoenix's age. Now, the teenager, he was on some groupie stuff. Because when his father brought him over to my house, he said, yo, you live in large. I want you to be my mama. You live in large. So I'm like, bruh, me and your dad hold up, you know. But the baby got very attached to me because he was only a year older than Phoenix. And his mom wasn't really in the picture. So when he realized Phoenix was in the bed with me, he wanted to get in the bed with me. And I said, well, honey, we don't get in the bed with our street clothes on. And he said, well, can I have some pajamas? Because I want to lay in the bed with you too. So literally I had to get him some pajamas because he wanted to lay in the bed with me too. And then one morning, girl, he asked me just as point blank, he said, you gonna marry my daddy? And I said, well, I don't know, baby. I said, you know, we're dating right now. And he said, well, I want you to marry my daddy because I want you to be my mommy too. Girl, when I tell you, I was like, oh my God. And I hated the fact that me and his daddy broke up because his daddy was a butthole.
But that's the hard thing because
he got so attached to me. And I'm like, dude, get it together. We could be a great blended family here. Your kids love me or whatever, you know, especially the baby boy. You know, him and Phoenix were like homies. They were tight. But dad was just the butthole.
That's hard thing. Now he's doggone, he's dumb and acting stupid. But that's the hard thing. When do you introduce your kids to that significant other? Because your child's heart, this is what I learned from my second marriage to husband 1A. I didn't introduce Jeffrey to him for, it must have been about 4 months into us dating. Because I said, I don't want my son to get attached to you. And then it's hard for me to unattach because my son is in love with you. Exactly. So it was like But I really wanted Jeffrey to know him because I said, I need to know. He came to New York to live with me for probably the last 3 months before we got married, because I said, I need to see how you react when Jeffrey's in the backseat of your SUV and he spills the ice cream cone. Because I don't want to be falling in love with you, married to you, and then you two are not connecting. So I did that. Exactly. And it broke my heart, girl, when I had to tell Jeffrey that we was getting divorced, because he cried and he said, but Sal is my daddy. He's not my daddy anymore. And I was just like, oh, man. Because I really wanted to, I just was like, oh, I really wanted to go, well, if he hadn't done this, A, B, this,
girl,
C, D.
You want to get into that conversation? Imagine if it's your biological son's, like the biological daddy. And you have to be like, because I'm going through that right now, where I'm having to really bite my tongue a lot because my, you said what?
Did I get frozen?
Sure, yeah, you're frozen.
Okay, so hey listeners, hey viewers, how y'all doing? I know you're like, where Kym come from? I'm here with Cocoa Brown.
We just had this discussion.
Yeah.
Sherri was like,
well, first of all, I jumped in because Sherri's screen froze.
Yes.
I have to go to Daily Pop. I told y'all I do Daily Pop, so I usually go to bed about this time. But Sherri said she was having problems up in Canada and her screen froze. Do we have a picture, Chris, of the frozen Sherri? Wait, that's another one. Is she naked? What in the world? So listeners, no.
That's a different one.
Where's the other?
Yeah, we have a picture. There she is. We have a picture of stripper Sherri.
Yes. I was arrested at my bachelorette party.
Look at it. She looks drunk and high. It's a crazy picture, everyone, for the listeners.
Yes, but the hair is fierce.
She looks like a Kardashian, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
absolutely.
Even that testimonial.
So I heard y'all was on a roll. Y'all was really having a good conversation.
We was talking about, our kids and dating with kids, and, we were about to go into ex-husbands. And that was going to be a whole nother conversation. Just dealing with that. But, we were talking about, just trying to date when you got kids.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that was the conversation. Well, is it difficult?
Well, yeah, for me, it's hard because I can't just really have fun anymore. Because I don't want to waste time just kidding with somebody that I know would never, ever be stepdaddy material. Yeah. I'm not at that age where I can.
You hear that, Chris?
I've been taking notes on how to head up a black family, and you know that.
That's right. How to head one up. That's even funny.
I love it.
Okay. What is it? What about just a booty call?
See, the booty calls are cool and all, but I don't know if you've caught this, but I be having my booty calls catch feelings.
I didn't think about that.
And realize that we're not on that type of time. And you serve a purpose in my life, and now you're trying to be my man, but you're not man material. You know what I'm saying? No, you're not my man material. You fun boy.
but do you go in the relationship and say that up front?
I be thinking it's understood.
Why? You sound like me, boy.
Because some of these dudes really be like, I'm just trying to kick it. I know you mad busy. That's what they hit me with. I know you mad busy. You got mad stuff going on. You ain't got time for a relationship. You telling me about me like you know me so well. And then I'm like, okay, so that's the kind of time you want to be on. That's how we kicking it. He's like, yeah. And then the next thing I know, you calling a lot and you checking in. What you doing? Where you at? Yes. I'm like, wait a minute, you don't get these privileges.
No, you don't. Oh, they go, Andre. Andre know what a booty call is.
Oh, Lord.
What he's like, so, okay.
She's going to put you on the spot, brother. That's okay.
I know.
Look like you better go to one right now.
Yep. Oh, God.
Got the hat on, like the walk of shame hat.
You understand, Sherri going to end up cussing him out.
Why?
Because he just jumped. Get your arm out of her square.
Oh. Your shoulders in her square a little bit.
You're just trying to get me up on you.
And you know it.
Andre, stop. You got women on here. They'll be mad.
I don't want Chris to get mad either. So.
Right, Chris will get mad.
He's much bigger than me.
Yes, he is.
Body-wise. I'm like that.
That don't mean nothing, Chris. Don't you believe it? So we were talking about, Do you know when a woman is just using you, Andre? Like, do you know when you are just a toy? Or not a toy?
Fun boy.
A fun boy.
Fun boy.
Oh, there you go, Chris. You're so smart.
Yes, and I don't mind at all.
No, but they be catching feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we talk about, men who catch feelings and thinking they more than what they are, and they the fun boy, and they just the fun boy, but they want to be the boyfriend.
Right.
Do you know, or does a person have to spell it out to you?
Well, communication is important. So you don't want to assume, because sometimes, think puts you on the other foot. It works for ladies too. You're like, oh, we were just, we just kicking it.
Mm.
But I thought I was your girlfriend. Like, join.
Oh yeah, you normally hear that with women.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That get situations, dude that told you up front, I don't want a relationship. I don't want
pushed out the bed.
I'm sorry, I don't want commitment. You know what I'm saying? And then she catches feelings. But I've noticed a lot of dudes are getting like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just kicking it, having a good time. Like, it's this one guy, I'm going to tell my business, but he was my trip guy. I needed to get away and have some mama time and just some R&R. He would meet me wherever I was at.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? That was our thing. And the next thing I know, he was like, I want this to be more regular thing. And I'm like, well, I can only take time off. He said, no. Like me and you, let's try this. And I'm like, huh? And the only reason why I didn't look at him seriously, because I ain't gonna lie, dude didn't have the most stable career. He didn't have a lot to offer other than that body and other parts. He was fun and stuff. And I'm like, but you're not, I was trying to figure a nice and respectable way to say, you're not man material for me.
Right.
Because I'll be taking care of you. You know what I'm saying? Because and I'm not saying in terms of money, dude ain't had no real job. Like, he was just really fine with a beautiful body. He was eye candy.
So what, he didn't have any brain? Like, why didn't you like him then?
Well, because like I said,
potential.
The thing was, he was all over the place. You ever met somebody change his careers every 6 months?
Oh.
Like, every time they turn around, they get a different career. They can't focus on something until it's accomplished. They keep switching all over the place. Like, 1 minute he was a stripper, then he was a barber, then he fixed cars, then he fixed houses, then he, manages a club.
He's just diversified.
I guess so, but honey, you ain't never got no. I mean, it never.
Think about it. If your car break down, he got you.
But you know what?
If your son need a haircut, he got you.
But that's the thing. He was never that dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember when he was decided to be a massage therapist.
You do too. It didn't come up with 3.
He decided to be a massage therapist. And I was like, oh, I need a massage. I never got one.
Wait a minute. You studied to be a massage therapist?
Went to school and everything, girl. I had a table and everything. And I said, oh, I get to get a massage for free. And he was like, yeah, I'm just, focused. I'm like, focus on what? Like, I can't get no massage? So I was like, no, you one of them. Like, you're not going to benefit me.
Right.
Because if you was coming in with the benefits, you're right. You could fix something.
Yes.
You could fix the siding on the house, and you could plant some stuff. Because, he went in landscaping at one point. I mean, the dude was all over the place. He was just a beautiful black man, but he was scatterbrained, as they call it. He was all over the place. But I never reaped the benefits of all these different career choices.
You should put that in your stand-up.
That's
funny.
I do.
Okay.
So
I just realized I'm that dude, but I ain't getting no benefits from my woman.
What you mean?
No, you
get benefits. What you mean you ain't get no benefits? What? You ain't get no trips to the Bahamas?
He's talking about me and Sherri. Thank you. He tripping. He get benefits. Not the kind he wants.
Oh, yeah. You're going to have to find somebody that's not in the friend zone.
Right. Because it's COVID. He don't want to be with nobody. He want to be with the safe bitches.
What is the safe ones?
COVID free.
Okay, so,
They just skipped over AIDS to COVID.
Wow. We are more afraid of COVID than we are of HIV right now. Yep. That's not good. Yikes.
Got a point.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Huge.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I apologize.
We have been up for a long time. We worked with a 10-hour day?
Yes, we worked
a 10-hour
on
day.
Cedric The Entertainer show called The Neighborhood.
Yes.
and we play the Pink Ladies.
Yes, and that's why I have on this hair, because I was natural in the last show.
That's right.
But they didn't want my natural.
And I had a blonde hair.
Yep.
So I went with braids, but we still play these characters, and it was very funny. So you all got to watch The Neighborhood on CBS.
It was good to be back.
It was good to be back.
It was fun. You talk about, I've never been on a set with so many comics.
Now that was fun.
Because he has writers that are comics, producers that are comics, and then
yes,
set.
The actors are, it was so much.
It was crazy.
And Cedric, the Entertainer, is insane.
When y'all see this episode, y'all gonna be dying because me and Kym,
funny.
I had to put some on because I kept peeing on myself.
I peed and then I hurt my stomach muscle.
I got a cramp. So you played the because I helped.
Yes, Reed.
Yeah, okay.
I played Regina.
Regina, I'm the toy.
It's gonna be funny. It's gonna
we the Pink Ladies. We the Pink Ladies.
Off the chain.
Right. See, look at you.
So,
and I want to tell everyone, and then you can tell what's going on with you. I just found out that series I did with Ray Romano on HBO Max will be out on March 31st, called Made for Love.
Yay!
Well, I played a nun, so I'm very excited about that. Now, you got a lot of stuff. What have you been
played
working
a
on?
nun?
Yeah. Shut up, Andre.
It means anybody can be redeemed, honey, and find their way back to the Lord. Okay. Yes.
What do you have coming out?
You guys can check me out on season 2 of Never Have I Ever on Netflix. We just wrapped shooting season 2. That's the show that's based on Mindy Kalix's life as a teenager. I play Principal Grubbs, and I'm just my mother. I'm totally my mother.
Because your mother was
an educator, 35 years. So
wow, second grade.
Yep, and I still can't say ain't in her house.
Right. I want to make sure everyone knows that everyone thinks it's Cocoa Brown. That is not her name. Her name is really Farrah, which is beautiful, but her name that she goes by is Cocoa
Brown. Let it roll off your tongue, honey. Cocoa Brown.
Cocoa Brown. Not Cocoa Brown, which I've been knowing her for
and not
years.
cocaine.
Before
what? Okay.
I was just saying that.
Even though I've been told I have that effect.
I like that.
I've been told I have that cocaine effect. Yeah.
That's why dude didn't want to let you go.
Right. They always come back. Please with me. They always relapse, honey, and try to come back.
What do you do?
Let's just say I grew up around white women.
Oh, Coco. Ooh. Andre is silly. Y'all are very silly. Okay.
None.
We were trying. The reason why we had to review
our sponsor is. Come on now, dude. We gotta be careful. We have a sponsor.
What's wrong with you? Get out. Andre gotta go.
He about to mess up y'all.
He about to mess up, make us have to do another one.
Right.
We was about to get into male-female talk, and you done jacked it up. That's Joshua.
Hilarious.
Doing Alexa. You know what? My son calls me on the phone. He makes announcements on Alexa. He couldn't just come downstairs and say,
Good night.
Good night.
No, he did it on Alexa. Hilarious. I got one too, girl. I got one too. So does Joshua walk around the house in like a wife beater and drawers like he pay bills?
Okay, that's
because my child walks around the house in a white beater and some drawers all day like he pay bills up in the house, girl. I don't walk in there. He on the couch in some drawers and a white beater eating some cereal like he don't work the 12-hour shift.
Oh my gosh!
I don't want to just jump in anywhere. I want to jump in right now. I have a question based on that. There's a tweet that we need to address that is perfect for this moment. So we get the stimulus coming, right?
Yes.
Check out this tweet. That I've got a photo for you. I don't know if you can see this real quick. All right, it's from @MafiosoRow on Twitter. And it's a screenshot. It says, "Not my son asking if he get a stimmy." And then, can you read that? Can you see that, Kym? Or you want me to just, I'll read it.
It was okay when it was big.
Okay, so
not small.
Here we go. So I got a question. That's the son. Mom, what's up? Do I have a stimulus? No. And then the son says, I thought children have stimulus, or did I not get signed up for one? Shout out to at Mafioso Row on Twitter. That's go there, check it out, give that person some love for their tweet, but the comment section under that is superb.
I gotta see that.
Yes.
What happens in your house is if that question gets asked, Coco?
I mean, yeah, but you know what? Since I pay for everything and everything's in my name, I keep it.
No, but how do you communicate that? How do you put your son in his place? You're saying he's walking around like he owns the place.
Seriously,
You got to put him in his place.
With a juice box and a wife beater and some drawers, and it'd be 4:00 in the afternoon. Like, girl,
But obviously he's seen someone do that before.
But ain't nobody. I don't walk around like that, and ain't no men in my house. I don't know where he gets that from, but he's very comfortable with his semi-nudity. He's very careful.
I'm like, what in the world? I was like, see them big old spots in
my
braids showing my.
Well, they fresh.
They're fresh.
They fresh. You ain't got no new growth.
I got no new growth. I got them redone because I got to do Daily Pop some more this week. So this is what was interesting. We were on the set today, Chris, and for me, haven't been around men, Andre, but like real men in so long. I mean, Andre's a real man, but you know what I mean? Like, he's Andre.
Right. The virtual talking to me once a week isn't doing it for you. I got it.
No.
I got it.
It was all these men, and usually I don't notice men. I mean, they're just there.
Right, like, I know. It was a lot of beautiful black testosterone in that
Every man, he could have looked like a troll. I was like, look at that.
No, I found myself really enjoying that part when I came in. Like, can I get a what? And I was like, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Hey, I'm winking. Hey, how you doing?
I hugged every last one of them.
I hugged extras.
Yes, and I didn't realize that a man's chest up against your chest.
Girl,
how good it
just
feels.
The smell of a man.
Yeah, they stunk, and I was excited. I was like, none of them had
feeling that stubble on your face.
And I'm mad. I usually put on this oil and smell really good.
Yeah.
Of all days, I didn't have it on today.
Oh no!
And I wear it every day, and I didn't wear it because I wanted one of those men to just say, "You smell so good," and I was gonna say, "Thank you."
No, I told a couple of them, I said, "Follow me." Because I'm not trying to get a lawsuit.
I just had regular body scent today. Do you like regular body scent or do you like a smell?
Some men just have a very masculine body scent that just is like a pheromone to me. It's like, ooh, that's a man. That's a man's man. And don't get me wrong, I know the difference between that and funk.
Well, I got a girlfriend who like a little alcohol on a man's breath, a little B.O.
What?
Yes, she loves it. If you are a little drunk and you have worked out,
a little tart,
you are the man for her.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I will say this: when I was dating this one guy, he was cutting the grass for me, and when he came in, that smell of grass and sweat and just manhood, I felt like a ravenous animal. I was like. Upstairs. He said, I need to shower. I said, I got you, girl. He didn't make it in the shower. Girl.
Grass smell.
It was grass and sweat and just, man. It was just, maybe it's just the scent of a hardworking man. It was just.
So you're like a rodent. You're like,
no, I don't know what it was. It was crazy. I just got so aroused.
Really?
I was like.
That is so interesting. What about you, Chris? Do you like
the scent of a man? I'm sorry. Yeah, my dudes have to smell like gasoline for sure.
Wow.
If you two, real quick, I love whenever women on very popular podcasts scoot over 2 inches to their left, each of you. That's one of my favorite things. If you could move your chairs, there you go. You'll be better in the shot. There it is. No, what's the question?
He said to the left.
To your left. Yep.
We did this on the set.
There you go. Okay. Way better. Thank you. Yes.
Okay.
What was the question, Kym? I'm sorry.
Well, do you like a natural smell on a woman, or do you like
perfume, oils, or?
Yeah, it's probably just no smell, like just clean. But then, man, if somebody has something on, I can say I don't like perfume or smells all you want. But if it reminds you of something or it just hits right, then it's kind of undeniable, huh?
Yeah. I got a oil I wear. Oh my God, every man, I have to stop wearing it. Just be too much.
Girl.
I'm so glad I didn't have it on today.
Show me that oil.
Oh yeah, I'm put this on.
Show me that oil. I need that oil. I need that oil. Yes.
It really is a nice smelling. Just
Really?
yeah. I remember one time there was this man walking down the street in Beverly Hills. It's a white man. You know, in Beverly Hills, and I walked past him, scared to mess out of him because I was looking like Mom's Mabley. I was homeless, I looked crazy. But he went past me, and I'll never forget it. And I was like, "Excuse me, sir." I said, "What is that you have on?" It was damn near was a commercial. I'll never forget. The man turned around. He said, "It was Issey Miyake."
Issey Miyake. Yeah.
I never smelled anything like that. And I was in love with that strange white man.
What if it's something as simple as like a lotion you use or something? Anybody ever catch that?
Yeah, I used to love this one guy that I dated way back in the day. He always smelled like Palmer's cocoa butter. And that just, it was just,
Really?
it just,
if somebody wears-
Cocoa butter will do it. That's a memorable.
But he always smelled like cocoa
I think
butter.
it's. I think it's associating it with a specific person or something. Because yeah, if I smell cocoa butter, I'm like, what's going on here? Yeah, something's making me happy.
I like Jergens on somebody.
Yeah, the cherry almond, that old school. It reminds me of my grandmother though.
True.
If I smell a man with that, I'm gonna be like, ooh, you remind me of Big Mama.
Okay. Cocoa butter is nice though. I do.
Yeah,
like that.
cocoa butter. And it's funny. It's like I love a good smelling man, but you know, I like when dudes wear oils, like, you know, like those real woke brothers be wearing like Egyptian oils and Kush.
But sometimes they be wearing frankincense and myrrh.
Right, girl, and you smell like Bible. I can't. You smell like the whole Bible. I can't do it. I can't think about spiritual things. And you smell like Genesis 23:12.
Now, Kym, Coca, if I walk in and I smell like a wet Labrador, is that just expected, or how does that work?
Oh, okay. And I would be like, baby, you giving me.
Because Chris thinks that when white people get wet,
and he white,
smell like
that's
something. I don't know.
No, that's what you think.
Oh, you like it? Okay, you mulatto.
No,
okay.
he's white.
Okay, show me the quadroom.
Show me that picture of you in those mustard pants.
We don't need to show that. We don't need to have that up there.
Girl, he got a picture of him in these pants.
Right.
And he got some mustard pants on.
No way! Chris, you over there? Chris, you over there blessed and highly favored? You over there blessed and highly favored, Chris?
All I did was get some lotion.
Really?
You want some skin so soft.
Ooh, you over there blessed and highly favored, Chris? Let me find out. We might need to make us some beige babies.
Okay. He said you taking his notes. This will smell too. That my Avon and skin so soft.
And that reminds me of like all my aunties growing up.
Yes.
It smells like summer.
That oil, they used to spray that oil. Yes.
Do you guys use that against mosquitoes in the summer? Do you have that skin so soft?
Yes,
yeah, that's what makes me think of summer. Yeah.
No, the mosquitoes out here, let me tell you something. They drink this for water.
Yes.
Oh, they got the killer mosquitoes out here. They don't care. They go right through. Ooh,
That's Georgia for you, honey. Them mosquitoes out there wear Timberlands.
Timberlands.
Girl,
now, how long have you lived in Atlanta?
I've been here 5 years now. 5 years.
Okay. Do you like it?
No, not really.
Are you going to move back here?
I want to really bad. I do. I mean, no disrespect. Yeah, for people that ain't really
got it.
You know, like for us, we wouldn't work. We don't work there,
right?
Because they don't want to pay us,
right?
You know what I'm saying? They'd rather get somebody to look like us,
right,
and pay them $40. You know what I'm saying? So it's difficult, you know. And then they still cast all the big stuff out here in New York.
Yes.
You know, and then they have a stigma. If you say I'm based in Atlanta, they assume you're an Atlanta actor, which they have this whole issue with. It's crazy. It's just no.
Oh, okay.
No,
I didn't know that.
And I realized that after I got there, that it was like, ooh, this ain't conducive for me. That's why you're always finding me here.
Yeah.
I work out here 90% of the time.
Oh.
What about people leaving Los Angeles?
I've gotten a lot of calls from people out here asking me for my real estate agent. It is like a mass blaxodus.
Really?
There's comedians. There's comedians, people are picking Austin, Texas, Nashville, Atlanta. Just depends on your scene. New York may be losing a lot of people too.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of calls from people that know I live in the industry, that know I live in Atlanta, and they're calling me. I've sent my real estate agent so much work that she told me if I ever sell my house, she will not take commission.
That's amazing.
Because I've sent her so many clients. People are calling me left and right.
Kym, what's your backup city?
Sierra Leone.
Really?
Ghana.
Take me with you.
You going across the
He
water.
said, take me with you. You might throw off everything, Chris. You can't go there.
Oh, Chris might
But I will take you, Chris. I can take you. My other backup city is Savannah, Georgia, and Charleston.
There you go. Savannah's a great city. Nice.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Hot.
Muggy.
Very muggy, but beautiful.
And all them trees with all that stuff hanging down gonna remind you of strange fruit.
Yeah. Damn, the weeping willow trees.
Every time I'm in Savannah or Charleston, I see them trees.
Yeah.
I just be like, "Ooh, child,
Bad memories.
yes."
You got to take the white approach. It reminds you of Forrest Gump. They've got the bench in Savannah.
You're right about that because they had all those trees going down his lane to his house.
I'm so sorry.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I know.
You got it. You got it. You got it.
Is it time to wrap up?
Just let to go. Okay. You're going to throw us some questions, Sonny.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you can blame, you can talk to, either way. Coca, you're going to Dallas. Kym, how do you feel about Coca heading out for more dates on the road? She says they're going to be safe. Texas is wide open, but the club says they're going to take care of her. Kym, we're talking about doing shows, and we are looking at St. Louis stuff and everything. It's like got to be super, super careful. It's really hard to make decent money on all that stuff. Kym, go ahead and let's hear your thoughts on Coca going to Dallas this weekend.
Is that where you're going?
Yeah.
This weekend?
Arlington Improv.
Oh, I loved Arlington Improv.
That's a great club.
It's a great club, but is it going to be half full, half capacity?
Well, they told me that they're still implementing the mask mandate, but they will be operating at full capacity.
What?
Yep, they're still. When I went there for a benefit, I went there for a benefit. This might have been August, maybe, and they had partitions, and it was half capacity. They had a huge partition. He told me that partition is still there, though.
Okay.
There's a huge, clear partition in front of the stage, so if they laugh and they can't get nothing on you, and you're
there's a partition.
Yeah. Like that plexiglass
Oh,
they
I
had
thought
at the
they
table
just
read.
going to let the people just
But they're going to pack the
out.
club, but they'll pack the club out if they get that many sales, which I'm hoping they do. But I told them, because when I first found out that Texas was opening wide open, I called the club and I said, look, I don't feel comfortable coming here, and I got a room full of people breathing on me.
Yes.
And they were like, no, Coco, we're going to still implement the mask mandate, but we are going to let the, sell to full capacity if so, but we will make sure that you're safe. And I'm like, okay. He said, staff still has to wear masks. Patrons have to wear masks, so I'm like, okay, I'll deal with that. Because I've been doing shows, since June. They've been sporadic, but I've still been doing shows.
Really?
And most of them, only a few clubs I was like, okay, let me go get tested. Because they were handling the COVID precautions. But the majority of the clubs, girl, be on point.
Which club in Florida was that, Coca?
This was called Off the Hook Comedy Club.
Oh, was it in Florida?
Yes, in Florida.
I was just making fun of Florida. Wow, that was a good guess.
Yep, I went down there right before they had
that was funny, Chris. I just got it when she said there was a couple of clubs. You were like, which club in Florida? Hilarious, Chris. That's true. They're off the chain there.
Yeah, I went there and did my shows right before they had that big outbreak.
They've just announced a big UFC event in Florida in April. 15,000 people, wide open, no restrictions. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. There could be some precautions in place, but yeah, they're going all in. I don't know. I don't know if Florida's worse off than the rest of us. They've been open pretty much.
Georgia been wide open.
Yeah.
Georgia been wide open because
Texas
when I'm
wide open.
Yep.
Florida wide open.
Okay. Now tell us about your feature. You were telling me about your feature, Coca. Kym,
Yes,
you got to hear about this guy.
Okay.
Yeah, Eric Shun, the Seoul Korean. He looks like a young Mr. Miyagi, and he loves black women.
Where is this?
My feature for me in Texas.
Oh, and he takes you.
Yeah, I take him with me. He's called the Seoul Korean, Eric Shun, and he looks like a young Mr. Miyagi. But he keep a bad black woman on his arm.
What?
Or he keeps one. I've had other black comics going, "That's his woman." I'm like, he's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I don't know, hypnotizing him, putting some jade and Japanese blossoms in that tea." I don't know.
No.
He keep a bad junk on his arm, honey. Yes,
What?
he do.
And he owns what club?
He doesn't. He's my feature. He's my
Oh, the
opening.
comic.
He's my opening comedian.
Shut up, Chris.
He's my opening comic.
I was like, I was trying to put it together. He goes with you. Where's he from?
Originally, he's from New York,
But he lives,
but right now he lives in Charlotte.
and he flies in and meets
He flies in wherever I'm at. He flies and meets me because he's a truck driver.
What?
He's in the reserves, and he's a truck driver.
and he's Asian.
And he's Asian.
None of this makes sense.
I know, right? And then
I ain't never seen an Asian truck driver.
Nope. And
Okay.
girl, when I say every club we go to, it'd be a bass of stuff in there, the green room talking about, "I'm here with Eric." I'm like, damn, what is you doing? I think you over there putting some Buddha spells on them or something.
Bobby,
child.
hysterical.
They be bad. I'd be like, what?
All right. I got to know, Kym, what's the rest of your week look like? What are you working on? Everybody always loves hearing about this stuff. You got the Raymond stuff coming out. You've been working with Cedric. You got Daily Pop. What's on the schedule for the week?
Well, I'm going to go to bed in a minute. We have Daily Pop every day.
Literally a minute.
In a minute, right here on the podcast. And then this week, I have... I got lots of things to do. Oh, we're getting ready for Call Your Mother. I think that's coming out.
With you and Sherri.
Yeah. Just working on things. I got a couple pitch meetings, and, we're doing the neighborhood. We just finished, unless they call us in tomorrow, all of a sudden. Got to get back on my WW journey. I've gained a couple pounds, and, I got to keep it sexy and cute.
You doing good, girl.
Yeah, I don't know. I got a lot.
She done so good, they didn't even notice I lost 25 pounds.
Congratulations, Cocoa. That's great. That's so great. Who's pouting in the corner.
Thank you.
Kym, I'll apologize for making you so comfortable all the time that you thought it was okay to gain some weight back. That's my bad. You're so comfortable talking to me all the time. I get it. Cocoa, I'm just gonna go ahead and steer this out of here. Cocoa, you did the Clubhouse. You said that's a weekly thing. Let's get some plugs in, and we'll get you guys to bed.
Absolutely. On Clubhouse on Mondays and Fridays, I do a club called Emotional Soul Food, and it's where you can come to a safe place to vent about things that have happened during your week that you may feel some type of way talking to anybody else. You can come and get it off your chest because we're all about making sure that you're healthy emotionally and mentally.
I love that. And I love that you actually have some cred coming behind that. A lot of my short experience on Clubhouse, it felt like there were a lot of people that didn't know what they were talking about, claiming to be experts. And so it's nice to see somebody with some real cred going on.
I mean, like right now, the club is going on right now, but I've got 2 doctors, 2 professors, and then a young girl who has a story that's amazing. And they're the moderators. They're just running it right now, just bringing people up and letting them vent, get stuff off their chest. They're offering advice. We have a life coach on there. She's offering free sessions. Honey, they're going to be on there for about 3 hours, if not longer.
That's amazing.
People be having a whole lot on their chest. But it started because I had to vent about my ex-husband one day, and it just turned into a revolution.
More of
podcast people.
Yeah, and next thing I know, everybody's like, girl, you got to keep this going. We needed this. And that's how Emotional Soul Food came about. Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. And then on Fridays, we do 10 a.m. so you can get your stuff off your chest so you can have a good weekend.
Beautiful. Kym's heading out. Guys, go to buyjack.com/2funnymamas and get all your 2 Funny Mamas merch. Follow Kym, Sherri on Instagram. Follow... What is it? One Funny Mama on Instagram?
Cocoa Brown, One Funny Mama. Just COCOA Brown, the letter O. You'll see me pop up with the blue check. Cocoa Brown,
Beautiful.
One Funny Mama.
That was good when you did that.
She had it. And then also, we're racing to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Tell your friends, tell your family. Let's keep this thing moving, and we'll do some live shows to pay you guys back for it. Great job, Kym. Great job, Coco. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Two funny mamas. Two funny mamas. Two funny mamas.